Welcome to SWTV, Sylvia with the Voice, your ultimate source for the most abnormal news and wildest reactions on the internet. I'm Sylvia, and we need to talk about what is happening in these streets. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button because it's about to get weird. Let's go. Yo, we have another major development in the Karmelo Anthony case, and what a difference a few days can make. Karmelo's attorney recently scored a victory when they successfully got the original judge removed from the post-trial proceedings. But now a different judge has officially denied Karmelo's request for a new trial. That means his murking conviction and 35-year sentence still stand. But his attorney says the fight is not over. So what happened in the courtroom? Why did the judge say no? And where does Karmelo go from here? Let's get into it, y'all.
Karmelo Anthony's push for a second chance in court has failed. Good evening, everybody. I'm Casey Stiegel. A judge today refused to throw out his conviction in the deadly stabbing of Frisco teen Austin Metcalf at a school track meet in April of last year. This decision comes after Anthony's defense this past week put the original trial itself under a microscope. And as Fox 4's Vanya Castillo reports, that bid came up short.
A judge has denied Karmelo Anthony's request for a new trial. Anthony was convicted in June of murdering 17-year-old Austin Metcalf and sentenced to 35 years in prison. This week, his new defense team argued problems with how the original trial was handled violated Anthony's constitutional rights. Retired Judge Michael Chitty heard 2 days of testimony and then denied the request Saturday. Dallas criminal defense attorney Mark Scott is not involved in this case, but says getting a new trial requires showing a serious constitutional problem.
In Texas, it's going to take something pretty outlandish, something that would be a severe constitutional rights violation for the defendant.
Chitty did not provide details in his order, rejecting the motion for a new trial. A major part of the hearing was centered on what both sides called a gentleman's agreement. Prosecutors and Anthony's original defense team had agreed to keep certain character evidence about both Anthony and Metcalf out of the trial. The dispute came when the defense prepared to put Anthony on the witness stand. Anthony backed out, and his new legal team says that was because of real concern the state would grill him on his behavioral history, violating that gentleman's agreement. Scott says one of the problems for the defense is that the agreement was made behind closed doors.
And unfortunately, when you look at to see whether, from an appellate purpose, if someone has actually violated the accused's constitutional rights, you have to see what's on the record. And this gentleman's agreement was done in a formal behind closed doors, and so nothing was ever brought out during the trial itself regarding this gentleman's agreement.
The defense also argues that restrictions on public access to the original trial violated Anthony's rights. Trial Judge John Roach was recused at the start of this week's hearing. Scott believes the issue of courtroom access could still matter as the case moves forward on appeal.
An accused has a right for his trial to be conducted both fair and objectively, but also to have open access to by the public. A trial should always be open to the public. In this situation, I believe that Judge Roach restricted much access to his courtroom in this trial, and that could play a big part in the Court of Appeals.
He also explained that the denial of a new trial doesn't end Anthony's legal options. Scott expects the case to proceed through the 5th District Court of Appeals in Dallas.
But they have one course now to pursue this, and that is to go ahead and actually appeal both the jury verdict and the judge's denial of a motion for new trial. And they're going to take it to one place that's going to be favorable, and this venue's in Dallas, Texas.
Looking ahead, what is next for the high-profile case? Well, Karmelo Anthony remains in the custody of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. He will reside in a Houston area prison as the appeals process moves forward. His appellate defense team has not commented yet on today's ruling, but will likely want the full trial transcript to craft their appeal. The record of this week's hearing can also be included in the pending case before the 5th Appeals Court in Dallas. All of this puts a very indefinite timeline on the next steps, possibly several months away.
One of the defense's biggest arguments involved the so-called gentleman's argument. They argued that what happened surrounding that agreement affected Karmelo's decision not to testify in his own defense. The prosecution disputed the defense's characterization of what happened. Now, this is important because some people assumed getting the original judge removed meant Karmelo was automatically getting another trial. It did not. Those were two completely separate legal questions. And remember, Karmelo maintained that he acted in self-defense. The jury heard the case and ultimately rejected that defense, convicted him of murking and sentenced him to 35 years. So as of right now, Karmelo Anthony remains convicted of murking and his 35-year sentence remains in place. The attempt to get a new trial at this stage has failed, but his attorneys are making it clear that they're not finished yet. The next major battleground is the appeals court. So whether you believe Karmelo acted in self-defense or believe the jury got it right, this case is clearly not finished making headlines. Please remember to comment, like, subscribe. We'll continue the conversation in the comments below. Please remember to be mindful and respectful, and I'll see you in the next video.